James here from GoodGuitarist.com, and in today's lesson I'm going to show you how to play Keep on the Sunny Side by the Carter family. This is a simple 3-chord tune, uses 3 of the easiest shapes on guitar, A, D, and E, and the strumming pattern is pretty straightforward, so this is a very simple strummer. Now I'm going to show you the chord shapes. We're going to practice them using downstrokes only and work on the switching so that we can really get the chord switches down. Then we'll work on our rhythm a little bit, working our way through the strumming pattern, counting it all out, and then we're going to put it all together. If along the way you find you need any extra help, I have a few resources. There's my free ebook, which goes over all the basics of chords and strumming. There's my complete beginner's course, which goes over, it helps you build that solid foundation, develop your sense of rhythm, develop your dexterity, all the things it takes to play songs like this and beyond. And also there's a chord chart for this on my Patreon in case you need help following along with the tune as you're practicing it later. Anyways, we're going to start off with the chord shapes. First we have A. And I want to play it this way with my fingers like that. You can also play it with those fingers or even barring with your first finger. But I feel the simplest way is using our 3 fingers stacked up. And then we're going to switch to a D chord. And as we switch to D, we can lift those 2 fingers up, slide our ring finger to the 3rd fret, and then we can complete the D shape. So just try that a couple times. A, slide the finger up, and when we go back down, it's just the reverse of it. We leave our 3rd finger, slide it down, A. You could even practice that silently, just silent switching, to really make sure you're getting it. And one more shape, E. And we'll be switching from E to A quite a few times as well. So for this one, if I'm on my A chord, I like to first put my index finger where it belongs on the G string and then put these 2 fingers down on E. And when I'm switching back, I move these 2 fingers like a unit to where they belong on the A chord. So I just reverse the steps, so first that, and then that, and then that, and that. It's all about being consistent. It doesn't matter which exact way you switch between the chords. What matters is that you do it the same way over and over again so you can get it built into your muscle memory. You'll be able to polish it up and get it nice and accurate so you can do it fast enough that it doesn't interrupt your strumming. Because a lot of people think they have a problem with rhythm, but really they're just focusing so hard on their chord hand that it interrupts their rhythm. So make sure you work your way through those shapes. We're not going to be switching from D to E, so we don't need to practice that, but I do recommend working on that at some other point. Anyways, that's all we need for this entire song, to be able to switch from A to D and from A to E. And a while ago, I made the Isolation Challenge Volume 1, where we basically put together these exact 3 chords with a country bass line sort of thing, which applies completely to this song. So you could check that out if you want to get a little bit more advanced and do something like, do that sort of thing. I'll put a link to that down below if you're interested. And now I want to put those shapes together and play the verse. We're going to do downstrokes only, and this will just give us an opportunity to practice our switching and to count how many times we're strumming each chord for. So we're on the A chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Switch to D. 2, 3. Back to A. Staying on A. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3. Going to E. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Staying on E. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. A. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Back to E. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So make sure that you can do that downstrokes only, counting along. Get the switching as smooth as you can. And then we can add the strumming pattern to it. The strumming pattern goes like this. I'll do it a little bit slower. 3 and 4 and. To learn this strumming pattern, we can divide it into two parts. First, we have, and that is root, which is just the low part of the chord. You know, so I'm just going after the thicker strings. It's kind of like a little downstroke. Little, and then down. 1, 2. So on beat 1, we do that little one, and then on beat 2, a full downstroke. Just try that a couple times. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the second half is a little bit trickier because we're missing the strings on beat 3. You know, we're missing one of the main beats, but we still have to feel it. So miss, up, down, up. That's what we're gonna say. We're gonna go miss as we miss the strings, then go up, down, up. And we'll count 1, 2, miss, up, down, up. 1, 2, miss, up, down, up. If you're having trouble with this, learn to say it first, saying 1, 2, miss, up, down, up. 1, 2, miss, up, down, up, saying it rhythmically, you know, and then you tell your hand to do it. 1, 2, miss, up, down, up. And then once you have that down, we can put it together with the first half. We can go root, down, miss, up, down, up. Root, down, miss, up, down, up. Now, before we put that together with the chords from the verse, try that out on the D chord, because the lower strings of a D chord are in the middle here. You know, you can't just hit that part. You can't go root, down. It's not going to sound very good. So what you want to do is cover that with your thumb lightly, or aim for this area and just go 1, 2. Even just doing that first bit. 1, 2, and then the whole thing. 1, 2, miss, up, down, up. And just for completion's sake, practice it a couple times on E. 1, 2, miss, up, down, up. And when you're ready, we can try to put that together with the chords from the verse, starting off on A. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And 1, 2, miss, up, down, up. 1, 2, miss, up, down, up. 1, 2, miss, up, down, up. There's a bright miss, up, down, up. 1, 2, miss, up, down, up. 1, 2, miss, up, down, up. 1, miss. Miss. So that's the verse. Now the chorus is the same components, you know, the same 3 chords, the same strumming pattern, but the chords are in a bit of a different order. So let's take a look at that first. Back to downstrokes only, and we're just going to count our way through the chorus, starting off on A. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Raise on the sunny side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sunny side of life. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Now, before we put this together with the strumming pattern, I just quickly want to talk a little bit about learning to hear the changes, because a song like this seems really simple. It's just a 3-chord song, but the order is constantly changing. You know, there aren't any patterns that we can latch onto. We do just have to kind of hear it coming. And in this particular case, we have 3 shapes, and each of those has a particular sound. A feels like home, you know, like we're... If I just stop there, it doesn't feel like we got home yet until we go... You know, you feel all the tension just go away, right? So A feels like home. It's the least tense. E is the most tense. E, your ear really wants to hear it go back to A. You know, and you can feel that release, right? So A is the least tense, E is the most tense, and D is somewhere in the middle. And just going from A to D, yeah, D has this like airier, more uplifting feeling. A feels like home, and E really wants to come back home. You know, so you don't have to be an expert in this or anything. Just keep that in mind as you're listening to music, as you're practicing this tune, that you know, each of the chords has a certain quality, and you can eventually start to kind of hear that coming. This is the very beginning of that. You know, don't worry, I don't expect my 1-minute rant about the 3 different tonalities to, you know, get you playing by ear right away. But just be aware of it, you know, and get started with it. Anyways, we have the chords from the verse down. Now we're going to add the strumming pattern. It's the same pattern. Everything's pretty much the same except for the order of the chords. Let's just try it out. You can always just rewind and go through this as many times as you need to. 1, 2, 3, 4. On the sunny side, always on the sunny side. Keep on the sunny side of life. So that's how you play Keep on the Sunny Side. Now, if you want to do the Carter family version of this one, you have to put a capo on the 2nd fret. But there are like 1,000, probably more, versions of this tune, so that'll vary depending on whose version you're trying to do. Remember to just break it down, work on the switching first, then the strumming, put it together nice and slow. You can always go on my Patreon and get the chord chart for this song if you're having trouble remembering the order of the chord shapes. I also have my free ebook, my premium beginners course, so please check those out if you need any extra help. Otherwise, have a fun time practicing, and I'll see you soon.